The New Mexico desert was still dark, shrouded in an eerie silence that seemed to stretch for miles. The vast expanse of sand and rock lay undisturbed, as if holding its breath for what was about to come. It was July 16, 1945, a date that would soon be etched into the annals of history. The early morning hours ticked by slowly, each second bringing the world closer to a monumental event. Scientists huddled in bunkers, their faces illuminated by the glow of instruments. They were a mix of anxiety and anticipation, knowing they were on the brink of a scientific breakthrough that could change the world forever. They were about to witness something never seen before, the detonation of a nuclear weapon. Years of research, countless hours of labor, and the collective genius of some of the brightest minds had led to this moment. Codenamed Trinity, the test would change history forever. The name itself carried a weight of significance, hinting at the profound implications of what was about to unfold. At 5:29 a.m., the world's first atomic bomb exploded. The detonation was a culmination of years of theoretical and practical work, a moment that fused science and sheer destructive power. The desert floor was instantly vaporized, leaving behind a scorched and barren landscape. The sheer force of the explosion was unlike anything ever witnessed by humankind. A blinding flash lit up the sky, followed by a deafening roar that echoed across the desert. The light was so intense that it could be seen for miles, turning night into day for a brief, terrifying moment. A mushroom cloud towering miles high, a visual representation of the immense power that had been unleashed. The atomic age had begun. The Trinity test unleashed a power unlike anything humankind had ever witnessed. Just weeks after the Trinity test, the world witnessed the horrific power of nuclear weapons firsthand. On August 6, 1945, an American B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. This event marked the first use of nuclear weapons in warfare, forever changing the landscape of global conflict. The decision to drop the bomb was made in an effort to bring a swift end to World War II, but it came at an unimaginable cost. The bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, detonated with the force of 15,000 tons of TNT. The explosion created a blinding flash of light, followed by a massive fireball that incinerated everything in its path. The intense heat and pressure wave obliterated buildings and caused widespread fires throughout the city. The city was instantly decimated. Buildings were reduced to rubble. The once thriving metropolis was transformed into a barren wasteland. The sheer scale of destruction was beyond comprehension, leaving survivors in a state of shock and disbelief. Tens of thousands of people were vaporized in the blink of an eye. Those who were not immediately killed suffered severe burns and injuries. The human toll was staggering, with countless lives lost and families torn apart. Those who survived the initial blast faced a slow, agonizing death from radiation sickness. The effects of radiation exposure were not fully understood at the time, and medical personnel were ill-equipped to treat the suffering. Victims experienced symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, hair loss, and bleeding, with many succumbing to their injuries in the days and weeks that followed. 3 days later, another bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki, Japan. This second bombing further demonstrated the devastating power of nuclear weapons and underscored the urgency of ending the war. The decision to use a second bomb was controversial, but it ultimately led to Japan's surrender. Again, the devastation was unimaginable. Nagasaki, like Hiroshima, was left in ruins. The city's infrastructure was obliterated, and its population suffered immense casualties. The psychological impact on the survivors was profound, as they grappled with the loss of loved ones and the destruction of their homes. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain etched in our collective memory as stark reminders of the destructive power we now possess. The annual remembrance events and peace memorial ceremonies held in both cities are a poignant reminder of the importance of striving for a world free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. The legacy of Hiroshima and Nagasaki continues to shape our understanding of the profound consequences of nuclear conflict. The atomic bombs that devastated Hiroshima and Nagasaki were mere infants compared to the nuclear behemoths developed in the decades that followed. The Cold War ushered in an era of unprecedented nuclear proliferation, with the United States and the Soviet Union locked in a deadly arms race. Nuclear weapons quickly escalated from the kiloton range to the megaton range, 1,000 times more powerful. One such weapon was the B-83, a thermonuclear bomb with a yield of 1.2 megatons, making it 80 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The development of these megaton-class weapons marked a terrifying escalation in the nuclear arms race, pushing the world closer to the brink of annihilation. In 1961, the Soviet Union tested the most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated, the Tsar Bomba. With a yield of 50 megatons, it was 3,333 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The Tsar Bomba's mushroom cloud soared 40 miles high, and its shockwaves circled the globe 3 times. The test sent shockwaves through the international community. It served as a stark reminder of the sheer destructive power at humanity's fingertips. The Tsar Bomba remains a chilling example of the terrifying heights of the nuclear arms race. Today, there are an estimated 15,600 nuclear warheads in the world. While this number is down significantly from the peak of the Cold War, it's a sobering reminder that we still live under the shadow of nuclear annihilation. The vast majority of these weapons are owned by the United States and Russia, the successors to the Cold War superpowers. However, several other countries possess nuclear weapons, including China, France, the United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. The presence of these weapons in the hands of so many nations raises the specter of accidental detonation, miscalculation, or intentional use. The countries that possess nuclear weapons wield immense power on the global stage. They form an exclusive club, often referred to as the Nuclear Club, whose membership grants them both prestige and peril. The United States and Russia remain the dominant players in the nuclear arena, each possessing thousands of warheads. China, France, and the United Kingdom, all permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, also maintain sizable nuclear arsenals. Pakistan and India, regional rivals, have engaged in a dangerous nuclear arms race in South Asia. The proliferation of nuclear weapons to more countries remains a significant concern. The global nuclear landscape is constantly evolving. Recent developments have raised new concerns about the future of nuclear weapons and their potential impact on global security. The United Kingdom, for instance, has announced plans to increase its nuclear warhead stockpile, reversing a decades-long trend of nuclear disarmament. Iran continues to enrich uranium, moving closer to the capability to produce nuclear weapons. North Korea has ramped up its nuclear weapons program, conducting a series of missile tests that have heightened tensions in the region. These developments underscore the fragility of the global nuclear order and the ever-present danger of nuclear proliferation. The world watches with bated breath, hoping that diplomacy and reason will prevail over fear and aggression. The continued existence of nuclear weapons represents a clear and present danger to our planet and all its inhabitants. Our Earth, seen from space, is a fragile oasis in the vastness of the cosmos. Yet we have stockpiled enough nuclear weapons to destroy it many times over. The voices of those who protest against these weapons are a testament to the growing awareness of this existential threat. It is imperative that we find a way to rid the world of these weapons before they rid the world of us. The future of our species may very well depend on it. The choice is ours. We can envision a world where nations come together in unity, where the collective goal is the preservation of life and the planet. The United Nations, with its assembly of diverse nations, symbolizes the potential for global cooperation and peace. We can continue down a path of fear and mistrust, clinging to the dangerous illusion of security provided by nuclear weapons, or we can choose a different path. The sight of military parades showcasing missiles and the tense atmosphere of geopolitical meetings highlight the precarious nature of our current trajectory. We can choose a different path, one that leads to a future free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. Peaceful protests and diplomatic handshakes are powerful symbols of the alternative path we can take. A path where children of different nationalities can play together without the shadow of nuclear fear looming over them. The time for action is now. The clock is ticking, and the urgency of the situation cannot be overstated. People marching for peace and the hopeful sight of a sunrise over Earth remind us that a brighter future is possible, but it requires our collective effort and determination.